Just because you're well spoken doesn't mean that you're going to have success in the podcasting arena. Just because once again, you're well spoken, that you're going to be a great speaker. You know, just because you have a little bit of business acumen doesn't mean that you're going to be successful in entrepreneurship. You need to be able to learn technique. Welcome to another episode of The Next Arena. This is a podcast that was designed to help former elite level athletes transition out of their sport into entrepreneurship. So if you're stuck and you're trying to figure out what's next, trying to figure out like what you want to do and have the same amount of passion, the same amount of fulfillment that you did in your sport, then this is the right podcast for you. Today, I'm going to talk about something that's really, I think, important to every former athlete that helped them go past high school sports because you were able to probably survive and do some magnificent things at the lower level, which is high school. And you did it based off of your skill, based off of your speed, based off of your athleticism. But as you know, as you go up the ladder and there's athletes who are just as fast, if not faster, just as quick, if not quicker, just as strong, then your athleticism, when everybody's at the same level, it comes down to technique. And I'm going to break it down for you just in case you didn't know what technique is. Technique is a specifically learned method or skilled way of doing a particular task, often involving practical, systematic procedures to achieve a desired result. So that means that you need to be able to trust your technique. The reason I was able to play 8 years in the NFL wasn't because of my athleticism. Yes, that opened the door. But for me to be able to last as long, it came down to technique. And to be honest, like there wasn't a whole bunch of technical skill that I picked up when I was in college. I didn't even pick up very technical skills my first year in the NFL. There was a lot of drills and whatnot, but there was no teaching, like why we do something. And I end up, nowadays, like I go to, because I still coach high school football, and I go to different clinics. I go to places where there's going to be coaches who have coached at the high level and had success. And I listen to them, and I'm always looking to learn. And there was one particular, it was a football clinic, and I went there and I took so many notes. And I was like, man, because I played corner, but I also played nickel, which is kind of like a mixture of a linebacker and a defensive back. You're closer to the line of scrimmage. And the amount of technique that I learned that session, I was like, man, if I would have known this, if I would have practiced this, man, I could have extended my career, I believe, because when I was playing, it was just, man, you kind of did what felt right. We weren't really taught a ton of technique. Now, there was a player, a teammate of mine, Eric Allen, who actually, I mean, he's in the Hall of Fame. He got inducted a couple of years ago, and he wasn't the biggest, he wasn't the fastest, he wasn't like an athletic freak. But when I watched him and his eye discipline and his technique was flawless, and it didn't matter who he was going up against. Like his technique was it was impeccable. And the thing about it is when I watched him, he had different techniques. He had a bag, right? He had a bag, a toolbox of techniques. And depending on who we played and the type of receiver that we faced, he would pull out a different tool. I never forget this conversation that we had. because I was brought in there to the New Orleans Saints as a press corner, meaning I'm up in the receiver's face. I'm going somewhere with this, so just bear with me. And I was bred to be a bump and run corner. When Eric, he saw after a couple of practices, he came to me and said, "Hey, young fella, hey, you need to sharpen up other tools in your tool bag. You can't just quick jam every receiver. They will find out and they will get used to that and they will have a counter to your quick jam." And so I was like, okay, that's all I've been taught. You got to develop more. We'll watch film together. And so me learning from him was farther along in his football journey. I think at that time, he was in his eighth year. I was in my first. And I learned so much from somebody who was there longer and had plenty of success. And then I watched it. I watched him practice these different techniques. And I became a fan and I started to kind of steal a little bit of his game, right? I'm saying all this is when you want to go to another level, it can't just be that your abilities. Just because you're well spoken doesn't mean that you're going to have success in the podcasting arena. Just because once again, you're well spoken, that you're going to be a great speaker. You know, just because you have a little bit of business acumen doesn't mean that you're going to be successful in entrepreneurship. You need to be able to learn technique. And one of the things that I pride myself always being coachable, always looking to learn. And so I took those things that I learned from my coaches, but most of it came from Eric Allen and a couple other former teammates of mine when they talk about technique. Because when you trust your technique, there's going to be times where the environment is going to be crazy. It's going to be, in sports, you come down, you play away and man, everybody's booing you. They're doing all this type of stuff. And you got this big person that you got to guard or you going up against. You can trust your technique, but you have to practice it. You have to practice it in different environments. That's how you build trust. It's the same thing that helps us when we are trying to start our own business. I need to learn the technique. If I want to sell this product, I need to understand it inside and out. I need to be able to communicate that. I need to be able to market that in the quickest way for me. And it could be for you too. Is the same thing that gave us success in our sport. It's the same thing that gives us success out of it when we're trying to build something. And that is to hire a coach. Hire a coach that can teach you technique. I wrote 2 books. I got a coach who can teach me the different techniques. They can break down and systemize it and make it simple for me to be able to get what I want out of this thing, right? This book. He helped me break it down into chapters. You want to have it be aligned and so it can flow better. So it's an easier read. So people can see the value in getting this book and learning, picking up the knowledge that you're throwing down. I got a coach. I want to get into speaking, right? Just because I can speak doesn't mean I'm going to be good at it or a professional speaker where the things that I'm saying is connecting to the crowd. It's like, playing golf. You know, my first time playing golf, I thought just, I'm athletic. I'm going to be good at this. I don't need a coach. And I get out there, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Just because I can swing a golf club doesn't make me a golfer. I got lessons because I want to bypass all this, the pain, and I want to be efficient in it. I got a coach. Same thing with speaking. I hired a coach. I saw him. I saw the messaging and I want to emulate that. And he gave me the playbook, like damn near a literal playbook of how to start your speaking business. What do you speak about? What are the points, the 3 points that you want any audience to walk away with? I don't care if it's 15 minutes or 2 hours. You need to be able to systemize it. That takes technique, right? When it come down to podcasting, I got a coach, right? To teach me things that I didn't know about this world, like what mic to buy, what the, what headphones, how to brand it. What do you want somebody who doesn't know you? What do you want the value proposition to be? You got them for 10 seconds. What are you going to show them to keep them watching? That takes technique. So we have it in us, built in us. We need to learn. You know what? Nowadays, I don't necessarily do a ton of like coaches, hire them. Now I do masterminds because in masterminds, now I get other people who are on the same level as me, maybe a little bit higher or maybe even a little bit lower, but we're learning in a group setting and we're holding each other accountable. The same thing we used to do in a team, in your sport. So masterminds, I can push my business farther by learning from other people who are just slightly ahead of me and they're opening up. They're showing me behind the curtains. I'm learning different techniques, not just from one person now. Now it's multiple people in the mastermind. If you want to go farther, you need to learn techniques. It's the same thing that helped you have success in your sport. Like there's a connection. I'm trying to tell you guys, there's a connection that what gave you success in your sport that can help you out in life. And I'm just talking about entrepreneurship. I'm not even talking about like the corporate world working for somebody else, which for some of us, that might be the best play for right now, right? But learning techniques, there's a way to go about it. And then you got to practice it, right? Practice the different techniques. I don't care if it's speaking, if it's presentations, and it can't just be in a sterile environment, right? It cannot be perfect. It's okay for things to be the dogs barking in the background when you're giving a presentation, when you're doing a podcast or whatnot. It's okay. And matter of fact, it makes you more relatable when you're not perfect. That's something that I learned. We're always trying to be perfect, and it's not a perfect world. And people don't relate to that. It makes you feel like um, too, too dressed up, right? Too buttoned up. You might push people away. So whatever technique that you want to get, that you want to learn, there's people out there that are professionals at it and they're efficient at it and they can coach you through it. They can simplify things within your business or even within your life. They can help you see it a little bit more clearly. And that's what we're searching for, I think, is clarity. When you can get clear on something, what you want to do, what you want to create, how you want to market it or brand it, it takes technique. Find someone and pay them that they can help shorten that span, and it gives you less headache and you save time. So this one's a short one today. I really want to, really emphasize is technique. And the more techniques that you have in your bag for whatever thing that you're trying to push out there into the world, you can be able to figure out, okay, which technique works for this group of people or this situation or this environment, right? And you have people out there have those tools and they want to share them with you. You just got to find them. Okay. So this was a short one. My name is Alex Molden. I'm here for you guys. I want to see you win, right? I have a mastermind. You can just check it out at my website, nextarena mastermind.com, and it has information for you. I run these different masterminds a couple of times a year. And if you go to the website, you can be able to find it. All right. So to your success.